The Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria hosted the 11th edition of its flagship event, the annual Banking and Finance Conference in Abuja. It focused on the theme, MSMEs, the game changer for economic growth and development, which brought together policymakers, regulators, scholars, bankers, financial experts, economists, entrepreneurs, and students of banking and finance across the country. In his opening remarks, the President and Chairman of Council of the CIBN, Dr. Uche Mezai-Olowu, said that the choice of the theme of the conference was apt, considering the role of MSMEs in driving poverty reduction in the country.
The annual Banking Finance Conference is a flagship event of the Institute, where members alongside our regulators, government and its relevant agencies, and other stakeholders, captains of industries, and also academicians gather once a year to discuss, review, and analyze challenging policies issues facing not only the banking and finance industry, but the economy at large. Subjected to a robust debate and dialogue, we provide solutions that in time past aided in policy formulation. This is in consonance with our mandate and strategic focus of the Institute to stimulate knowledge and advocacy. The theme of this year's conference, MSMEs, the game changer for economic growth and development, has been carefully chosen and could not have been more apt given its importance to the rapid, sustained, and inclusive economic growth of Africa's largest and leading economy.
Delivering the keynote address on behalf of the Central Bank Governor, the Deputy Governor Economic Policy, Dr. Joseph Nana, listed the initiatives of the CBN aimed at supporting MSMEs.
The CBN has done so much in the area of de-risking the MSME subsector and providing funds for on-lending to the sector. It is now up to us, the financial intermediaries in the economy, to support and complement these efforts and turn around the fortunes of MSMEs and the economy at large.
Giving the goodwill message on behalf of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Permanent Secretary, Office of the SGF, Mr. Olusegun Adekunle, used the occasion to restate the commitment of the federal government to ensuring a conducive business environment for MSMEs to thrive.
I want to use this opportunity to assure both the local and international business communities that this administration will continue to provide a more secure business environment and commit more to these ideals in the interest of economic development of Nigeria. We shall continue to provide physical infrastructure for existing investment to thrive and make every part of the country attractive to new investors. We are also going to commit to building institutions that make data much more available for research, building sound regulatory environment, and providing sufficient investor capital and financial education, amongst others. Let me use this opportunity to encourage all stakeholders present here today to take advantage of the policies of government on the ease of doing business.
Some of the bank CEOs at the event gave further insight into the value of MSMEs to an economy.
One thing is clear, that if we accept that SME lending or SMEs are the backbone of the economy, then if we can crack that problem of how do we empower, how do we finance, how do we support entrepreneurs and businesses, then that in itself will lead to greater opportunities for us as bankers. And we as bankers, we spend our time competing, going after the same customers every day. Yeah, we do it. It's what we do. But if we're able to find ways to create more economically able businesses, then we solve what is an existential problem for us. How do we get more customers? Right? We get more customers, we create more by creating them. So if we're able to achieve this, and I'm hoping and I'm looking forward to the outcomes and outputs of the next few days, then we address what is an existential issue, if you will, for us. So if we do that, we focus on as we are, deepening financial inclusion by creating more economically active and able customers, then we do two things, right? One, we contribute to economic activity, and two, we create more business, more opportunities for ourselves.
Today, technology in particular and the various platforms that has brought the world into true global village setting, and the astuteness of our millennials, who, by the grace of God, even from population, dominate the highest number of people in our country, we truly have a chance to bring the real performance of MSMEs into the economic performance of our great nation, which is the powerhouse of Africa. And so access to finance has been spoken about repeatedly, but access to market and the ability to actually deliver services 24/7 has the capacity to multiply the contribution of MSMEs into the performance of our national economy. And I believe that is why the central bank rightly has put financial inclusion at the centerpiece of economic development. And I think we should give the central bank a big round of applause.
The first day of the conference featured panel sessions on MSE financing gap, the critical role of microfunding, and understanding emerging disruptions in technology and its impact on MSME growth. To deepen the discourse, there were two simultaneous breakout sessions on innovation in financial services and how banks could leverage to bank the unbanked, and women in finance using technology to connect the next generation of bankers. At the 11th Annual Banking and Finance Conference Dinner and Awards Ceremony, there were inspiring stories from young entrepreneurs, captivating poetry, colorful displays, and recognition of outstanding performers in the industry.
Why is politics always prioritized over governance? Why is the fight for elections, why does this always attract more attention, more passion, more resources from our politicians than the struggle to govern the country properly? Why does the fight to retain one seat in government and determine one successor in government, why is this more important than the struggle to build roads, to build schools, to build the middle class? And until we can answer these questions sincerely, then I'm afraid that this country is simply going round and round the roundabout. And this quest for change will continue to elude us.
The second and final day of the conference started with the reports from the breakout sessions. It featured panel sessions on harnessing the value-adding potentials at MSME in income and empowerment generation, and MSMEs as an integral part of the economic recovery and growth plan. Highlight of the second day was the official signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the CIBN and Crown Agents Limited to enhance the mandate of the Institute in the area of capacity building for financial services. After a two-day robust discourse, the Registrar and CEO of the CIBN, Mr. Shea Awojobi, read the 17-point communique of the conference.
This conference agreed that banks should review their lending model to MSMEs as a key responsibility and their own contribution to economic growth. Do you agree?
One interesting part of the conference was the opportunity given to the millennials to participate and gain exposure on the developments around the financial services industry. After a successful hosting of the conference, Zenith Bank of Nigeria handed the task to First Bank, who will host the 12th edition. The president of the CIBN, Dr. Uche Olowu, Mr. Peter Mambo, CEO of Zenith Bank, Mr. Patrick Akinwutan, CEO of EcoBank, and Mr. Nnamdi Okonkwo, CEO of Fidelity Bank, give their perspectives on the theme of the conference and the value of MSME development in Nigeria.
For me, it is a new dawn for the SMEs because we are grabbing it right, given the fact that this is the lifeblood of any economy. So what is it that has been holding us back? We are going to attack this monster brutally because it is what will, as our team suggests, a game changer for the economy.
Globally, if you look at all the developed economies, MSMEs definitely account for minimum 70 to 90% of employment in those countries, and they are also responsible for growth and development in those countries. So Nigeria cannot be different. And that's actually why the focus and the theme of this particular conference has to do with MSMEs.
I agree entirely. It couldn't have come at a better time, a time where Africa as a whole is refocusing on empowering every African to participate in the financial economy. Africans have always been very strong in entrepreneurial activity, intellectual activity, but typically we've not scaled. We've not brought it into the formal economy. And with technology today, everybody has a mobile phone, there's access to internet, there's Wi-Fi from all the telcos in various locations across the countries. It is the right time to now leverage the scale that the digital platforms provide, which is accessibility, which is reliability, and the fact that it's available 24/7.
Now, it was very obvious that microfunding is a challenge. Now, we talked about the reasons why micro organizations are not getting funding. We talked about some remedies. We shared insights into what some of us have done to help people in this category. We talked about how certain organizations like Fidelity Bank has built capacity by using the cluster approach. We talked about association-based kind of lending where people that have homogeneity of needs, you spend time with them, send our officers into the field and spend like a week or two understanding their needs and creating tailor-made products for them. We also talked about the reason why certain financial institutions shy away from lending to this group. A lot of the constraints discussed show that it's not just about finance. There could be wider issues, but we cannot keep crying about constraints and not do something. So from some of the intervention funds we're beginning to see, if well managed, it should help some of these people. But above all, capacity. Giving a man money is not enough. He has to understand how to manage the business that he has chosen to go into.
From the just concluded 11th edition of the Annual Banking and Finance Conference, it is expected that the 17-point communique will give policymakers and the financial institutions a new perspective on how to support MSME growth and development in Nigeria.